So let's be honest. Working in the oil field is a hard, difficult job. It's a good job, but it is difficult. Difficult physically, difficult mentally. And I want to take a few minutes to talk about the mental challenges of working in the oil field. And I'm not talking about intelligence. You don't have to have a super high IQ to work in the oil field. I'm talking about the mental stress that takes place when you leave your home and you're possibly, if you work on an offshore rig, you are out in the ocean for 2 weeks, maybe a month, and you don't have a way of getting off. Or you are 6, 7, 9 hours away on a land rig out in the middle of nowhere, and you just drove away from your house. You left your wife, you left your family, and you have to be out there for 2 weeks working on hitch. It's not easy. Okay, for me, whenever I started this job, I had never been away from my son longer than one night. I had never been away from my wife longer than 2 nights, and we had been married already for about 8 years. So all of a sudden, my 5-year-old son, who has seen me pretty much every day his entire life, all of a sudden, Daddy's gone for 2 weeks. That was hard. It was very difficult knowing that I was going to be gone for that amount of time, and I didn't know what I was walking into. Sometimes there's not good cell phone service. Sometimes you can't call your family every day. Sometimes, especially if you're on an offshore rig, if you decide that you're done and you want to quit, sure, you can tell your manager and everything that you're done, that you quit. It might still be days until they get a helicopter or a boat out there to get you. If you're hours away on a land rig and you decide this isn't what you want to do anymore, you're still very far away. And sometimes those roads are not easy to drive through. It's hard. Mentally, it is hard. And that has been the number one thing that I have seen that has caused people to not come back. I've seen people get up in the middle of the hitch and just drive off because they couldn't handle it. There are physical challenges, but it's the mental aspect of it that I've seen wear people down. For me, whenever I started this job, I had no other option. I had to make this work. And as of right now, this is still my option. But I get up every day knowing who I'm responsible for and what this job is doing for me and my family, and knowing, okay, this is what I do and this is how I take care of my family. And that's one of the things that keeps motivating me every single time to keep going back, to keep doing my job, and to keep working safely. That's the whole point of this, to understand the mental stresses and the mental challenges of this, and to cope with them, to deal with them as best as you can so that you can work safely. Because you're on a rig, you're learning the machinery, you're learning how the job works. It's a high-paced job sometimes, and there's a lot of stuff going on. You could have a conversation with your wife that day before starting work. Y'all might just got into an argument, and now you have that in your mind, that you hung up the phone and you hadn't resolved the issue, but now you have to work for the next 12 hours in a high-paced, sometimes stress, physically exhausting job, and you have to work safely. That happens. People have to deal with stuff. You're away from your family. You're away from home. You have no way to get out sometimes, or getting out is not easy. And that is a very real thing. It is a reality for everyone that works on the oil fields. We all go out there hoping and praying that our families are going to be safe while we're there, and that while we're on the rig, nothing happens at home that's going to need us to drop everything, leave the rig, and get back home as soon as possible. I had a rig manager one time. He used to work on offshore rigs, and he told me that he had a family emergency and he needed to get home, and it took them 3 days to get a helicopter out there to the rig to pick him up and bring him back to land so that he could get to his family. That's not an all the time situation, but it happens. Okay? This job has incredibly great benefits to it financially, for you as an individual and as a person. It can benefit you tremendously. But the hard truth is, it's a hard job. And mentally, if you are not prepared to go out there and understand you might not be talking to your family for days, maybe even the whole hitch. You might not be able to leave right away if you need to. Those are true realities of the oil field, and it's a hard truth, and you need to know it because you need to prepare yourself. If you're getting ready to do this, have some type of plan. Have some type of plan. Find out when you get there, like, okay, if you're on a land rig, all right, I'm here, I have no cell phone signal. How far can I drive off the rig if I need to get some signal so that you can talk to your family, so you can talk to your children, so you can hear about the news. Maybe if you don't have cell phone service, but your rig manager has a phone, if there's a rig phone that's for your rig manager, and you're able to get that number to your wife, to your loved ones, say, in a case of an emergency, call this number, and my rig manager, my driller, whoever can get a hold of me and let me know. That's one of your options. Same thing if you're on an offshore rig, find out if they have a phone number there for that rig, for the rig manager, whoever. They can be an emergency phone for your family to call and reach you. Because you're not supposed to have, when you're on hitch, on tower, you're not supposed to keep your cell phone with you. Okay? There's policies about that. So the best thing to do is to have your rig manager's phone with your wife or with your loved ones. Sometimes there might not be good cell phone signal, but maybe there's internet, and you can able to chat through WhatsApp, Messenger, FaceTime, something like that. There's other options, but the point is, when you go and do this, know what you're getting into and have an idea of contingency plans on how you can stay in communication with your loved ones in case there's an emergency, and fix this in your mind. You can do this. Plan ahead. Make the best decisions that you can for you and your family for while you're going to be gone. Try to figure out the best ways to communicate with them as often as possible, and fix it in mind. You can do this. There's nothing about this job that is too hard for you. There's nothing about this job that you can't do. Believe me, if I could do it, I know you can do it. So go in there with a good mind, a good attitude, so that you can work safe and that the benefits of this job can transfer to you and your family, and everyone will be okay. And at the end of your first hit, you can look back and think, wow, I did it, and I can still do this. It's possible. And make this into a career if that's what you're going for, or if it's just a job for a while, but it's going to bring your family from one place economically to another. And this job can do that for you. So go in there with a clean, good mind, but understanding what you're getting into. So anyway, thanks for listening, and be safe.